Welcome back to Circuit of the Americas. Thank you so much for joining us trackside and on the live stream for Gridlife Touring Cup race number 1. We have just released cars from the pit lane entering the track, and this is going to kick off one of 4 wheel-to-wheel races coming at you from Circuit of the Americas this weekend. Again, this is Gridlife Touring Cup wheel-to-wheel action. My name is Tom O'Gorman. Next to me, Adam Jabay with the call for this 20-minute sprint race. We're starting 15 cars taking the green flag in just a few short moments. But Adam, we just completed qualifying a little earlier. What are you excited to see in this race?
I am excited to see turn 1. I think is going to be, there's so much space there. I think we might go 4, 5, or 6 cars wide at turn 1 on the start. Unfortunately, a few cars are broken. There's a transmission in a million pieces. Car will be back tomorrow. We had an alternator explode on a Miata. That'll be back tomorrow. And looking like more cars in race 2. But race 1 right now to the field, following the pace car there, and they're warming up the tires and filling out the track. So we'll know in just a minute how they do down the long front straight up that hill.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts, a lot of storylines that we want to get to. But Gridlife Touring Cup, if you're just joining us, you've never seen wheel-to-wheel racing before. Hello again, my name's Tom O'Gorman. This is Adam Jabay. Next to me,
bearded hobo.
Brutal. This is wheel-to-wheel racing, all one class. All the cars you're about to watch are in the same category, and it is 12.5 to 1 power-to-weight ratio, and then slight modifiers for driveline, tires, aerodynamics, things like that. But it's a quick sprint race series, 4 races on the weekend, and it's a championship built up over the 4 races. Overall winner at the end scores the most points, and each race kind of takes on its own shape as we go on through the weekend.
Yeah, the race today is based on qualifying results from the previous session, and tomorrow's race will be based on, first race will be based on the fastest time of each car over the entire day today.
Yeah.
Race 3 tomorrow, I believe, we're basing on the results of race 2. Race 4. Final race of the weekend will be, I believe, race 3, and with an inverted start, the random number chose to invert in front.
It's awesome.
It should be an interesting, it's our typical race format for GLTC. It should be an interesting way to run it. It's a beautiful track.
So when we throw the green flag in just under a minute's time, you see the field gridding up there, coming through the stadium section here at Circuit of the Americas. We are going racing for 20 minutes, wheel-to-wheel. First guy across the finish line at the end is the winner. And speaking of drivers, we've got qualifying order on the front row right there on the outside. The silver S2000 of Todd Cayley took the pole on his last flyer this morning at a 229.5. On the outside of the front row, it's James Houghton in his fresh-built Acura TSX on treaded street tires in second position. Third is Dyson Pham, a local driver from Houston, coming up to join the Gridlife Touring Cup. And Derek Yarbrough's car, driven by DJ Alessandrini this race, qualified 4th. DJ thinks he's got a lot more time in that car, so he's excited to get going. Luke McGrew, Ryan Upham to make up the 3rd row. Eric Meadows and Nicholas Steniford in the 4th row. Sally McNulty actually not taking the start, so that moves Gareth Campbell and then Jeremy Boyson into the top 10. Rounding out the field is Carl Hurdle, Fiona Liu, Matt Murphy, Ben Dozman, and Brian DeFries as we are rounding out the final couple of corners, about to go green flag racing for Gridlife Touring Cup onto the front straight. Todd Cayley and James Houghton side by side coming to what will be a green flag now at the 2nd start-finish line. He's going up. There it is, green flag racing. Field fans out just a little bit. It's Todd Cayley and James Houghton in the front row. James Houghton with the motor here. He wants to clear Todd by turn 1. Look for him to come across the nose if he thinks he's clear, but he's going to go for the high line. Todd Cayley dives down underneath, and Pham looking underneath as well, but they get through turn 1 clear. You see the giant minivan up there, but James Houghton running it just a little bit wide, exceeds the track limits, but he does lead down into the S's for the first time. Todd Cayley needs to cling to the back of him, and DJ Alessandrini coming from 4th up to 3rd, trying to get that MX-5 up into the top position, but James Houghton has done what he wanted to do. He wants to be leading onto the back straight for the first time. He's got the motor and the straight line speed of this entire field. The field continuing to stream through the S's now as we pan from the tower. That's turn 7 and turn 8. You see the different choices and lines between the cars to try to maximize each of their potential, and hopefully we can talk some about these cars and their builds, but they are green flag down towards turn 10, the hairpin down at the bottom of the corner.
Good clean start there into turn 1. Real pleased about that. Happy to see our guys really driving clean. One of the core tenets of GLTC.
Little lockup from Houghton as he goes into turn 11, but he's got a pretty healthy gap. I'm surprised that Cayley wasn't able to close up just a little bit. Now
he did put a few cars back onto him. This motor is showing. This is a straight line Aero machine, very limited downforce and street tires. So he went a little bit lighter, a little bit wider front tires. Looking at that power and that difference there, 5, 6, 7 car gap increase. We'll see if Cayley, who has ran a faster time,
side by side for third. Oh, that is Dyson Pham looking on the inside of DJ Alessandrini. They're still side by side exiting the corner. Alessandrini was pushed a little bit wide, so the blue S2000 of Dyson Pham gets up into the third spot. DJ Alessandrini reeling from that attack at the end of the back straight a little bit. But what's interesting to watch now as the race unfolds, again, it's a 20-minute sprint race. We're racing green flag the entire time. James Houghton on those treaded tires with the front-wheel drive Acura RSX, or TSX, that's kind of designed for power in mind. We saw in qualifying, he was fastest on his very first flyer at both chances that he took for qualifying. That car will continue to degrade for the entire race, while the cars behind, the rear-wheel drive, more balanced roadsters, are going, they're going to maintain their speed a little bit better. So Houghton's got to manage his car just a little bit.
And as you said, that there's a long straightaway, but there's a lot of turns.
Yeah, this is 20 of them.
Very busy midsection.
DJ Alessandrini comes back on Dyson Pham to get back up in the third spot, and Luke DeGrew is loving watching this and keeping him in the battle in that black MX-5 at the end of the back. Dyson Pham going for the attack once again. I think that S2000 has the advantage on the straight line. Yeah, but DJ Alessandrini still learning his car again. He's co-driving with Derek Yarbrough, cutting back just a little bit. That Honda of America race team minivan, the Hot Rod Odyssey, side by side with Eric Meadows up into turn 1. Back to this battle for third place. Best battle on the track by far right now. Alessandrini actually got the lead into turn 1 in this battle, even though he was side by side at the front straight. You see them streaming through the S's, carrying as much speed as they possibly can. Alessandrini just a little bit wide, but setting up for a nice backside in turn 6. Going to dive through turn 7, but look at the gap up to Houghton. It's still nice and healthy.
It's not increasing though.
No,
it's saying about the same gap. Cayley might put quite a few cars on him in the midsection of the S's.
So the gap at the line was 2.3 seconds from start to the finish of the first lap. So Houghton kind of pulled out that nice, healthy 2-second lead. And now it's Cayley's job to put his head down. Cayley has never been here before. Houghton has. Cayley's car is pretty well established. Houghton's is brand new.
Oh, Cayley did tell me his car could fall apart.
He did, yeah. He's worried about a hub for sure.
We have 239.30 as the hot lap James Houghton, 241.76 with Todd Cayley. So that first lap was harder for Cayley. Tires probably not coming in, and Houghton just ready for it.
Oh, look at this battle between the Hot Odyssey and this great new build from which car is this? The green sedan.
That is Garrett Campbell.
Sorry about that.
Garrett Campbell there.
Yeah, side by side down into the back straight, but look at how good the Hot Odyssey is on the brakes. Is he going to make it? We don't even know. Just blows it up, misses the apex just a little bit, but it was all balls down into the brake zone and gets it rode up. The Hot Odyssey continues to lead this battle for, that is 9th place, so top 10 for these cars kind of battling out. That's Garrett Campbell, and clinging onto the back is Jeremy Pearson, that Rally World Challenge, SCCA Speedway Challenge, RSX, and then still in the back even more is Nick Steniford, 4-way battle.
These cars are pretty evenly matched in the straightaway. They want to go on top behind that big combo there.
And who would have thought on the brakes that man is pretty good. It's a very large bullseye. Sweeping through the carousel into turn 19 and turn 20. Boyson takes a look just a little bit on Campbell, but thinks better of it, dives back in line. This is a much tighter corner than you think when you're driving the track. Side by side now for Steniford, coming back on Boyson. Those cars side by side at the back of your frame. RSX versus Honda S2000 on the front straight. Steniford kind of parks it at the apex, and that's going to give the run for Boyson down the outside. Minivan continues to hold them up, I think, just a little bit. The Paul Hurdle driving that HMA minivan is doing a good job kind of keeping these guys behind. See the brakes come back on that car. Now that is a little bit more of a, it's a heavy car. It's going to use up its resources pretty quickly.
A couple laps in.
Like Upton has dropped off in the back. He was worried about a tire degrading a little bit. He was having some delamination problems, so maybe he felt that a little part.
S44 swap.
Back at the front, James Houghton continuing to lead. He actually extended his lead by another almost second that lap, continuing to lead at about a 3-second margin right now. Really consistently, really strong right now. Fastest lap is actually DJ Alessandrini though at 2:32.5. So keep an eye on that silver MX-5 running in third place right now. He's going to be looking to reel in Todd Cayley and ultimately James Houghton. But we're still looking at this battle for 9th place. Garrett Campbell has been able to clear the HMA minivan. Now it's Jeremy Boyson taking a look down into turn 11 for the hairpin. See these guys turn in really, really late, trying to open the corner up, but Boyson in deep in the RSX, tries the inside. Not going to get there. Smart racing, super clean racing too. This is awesome.
We're seeing our top 5 times, 2:32.6. 2:32.555 fastest of the race. And Dyson Pham in 2:33.5 and top 5 2:34.597 for Reed McGrew. The top 5 run pretty close, consistent lap times out here. Houghton very consistent though.
Steniford deep on the brakes down into turn 12. Going to look around the outside of Boyson again. Hurdle missing the apex in 12, but he continues to lead. It's fine to miss apexes like that if it means you keep track position, but Steniford now go on the attack for Boyson. Side by side over that big yellow curve, gets it sideways, tacks her up, keeps it sideways, and saves it. No, he doesn't. Goes around. Nice 360, and he's on his way. No worries. But he has lost some track
for style, but not the ideal line.
No. You got to imagine the next car on track that's feeling aloof, thinking, what the heck's that guy doing? But he made it work. So now Boyson can put all attention on getting by Carl Hurdle, the Hot Odyssey minivan from HMA, Honda of America Manufacturing in Alabama. This is turn 19. You see Boyson maybe having a little bit of target fixation as he's kind of making mistakes. I have to imagine the minivan's hard to see around. I mean, it's enormous.
It's
so
the scale difference you can see in this shot here. It's like 50% scale. You're looking at the RSX. It looks very small to a big truck.
This is back at the front. DJ Alessandrini continuing to set fast laps, but it's Dyson Pham now who's actually taken over the 3rd position and has fast lap of the race. So that blue S2000 responding to the pace. He's the driver at the front here with the most local knowledge, I'd say. He's from Houston
area. It's a 231 now.
Yeah, established cars as well, coming over from another series. Now Nick Steniford driving down, trying to get to the back as Jeremy Boyson's cleared the HMA Racing minivan. This is that battle for 3rd. Blue S2000 is Dyson Pham, DJ Alessandrini in the silver MX-5, and that's Todd Cayley just leaving your frame. As they're all still focusing on James Houghton, who's actually continuing to go faster. I have to imagine, based on his pace relative to what he did in qualifying, that he's kind of managing his pace just a little bit, which is important.
2 versus what he went, 229 in qualifying.
Yeah, they were in the 29, so he's about 3 seconds off his qualifying pace. It has gotten quite a bit hotter out here. The sun's come out. The track temp is warmer, but I think Houghton driving smart. He's a front-wheel drive car, a lot of power.
Yeah.
There needs to be some management of those tires, or he's going to burn him down.
And he does know this place better than Todd Cayley. He was here last year.
Yeah.
He was in the wildest Acura Integra that we see here in this country, but yeah, he knows this track a little bit more.
HMA minivan battle back to Nick Steniford's closed the gap after that pirouette in the stadium section, coming onto the back straight. Plenty of drafting opportunity off the back of the minivan. He's not even going to need it. Already pulled out in the S2000. And one thing I was going to say, sometimes the minivan has a hard time kind of maintaining power. It gets a little hot, so he may be losing straight line speed.
Yeah. Automatic transmission also, but so what he makes up for not having to push the clutch down, he does have some disadvantages in a large vehicle. Awesome to see that car out here being consistent and just having a good time. It's like a fan favorite too as people walk through the pit lane.
Now, guys, I'm watching on track right now. Dyson Pham is on the move. The blue S2000 in the middle of the silver car sandwich right here. He's fastest car on the track right now. He's closed the gap from 4th, and now he's up underneath Todd Cayley. Now, Todd Cayley's a pretty green driver as far as wheel-to-wheel racing. He's the first to say that his racecraft is still in progress. Dyson Pham's been racing for a while.
Todd Cayley came from COTA.
Yeah.
I think Gridlife Atlanta was his first wheel race. Beautifully built car, good cage.
He actually says it's a dumpster fire. He's happy for us to call it that.
I mean, beautifully built cage, but new car to a wheel-to-wheel world. So.
And there is Ryan up and actually coming off track. That's in pit in.
Must be some
yeah. So that BMW parking its fast car. Hope to see him back out. Dyson Pham now still on the attack. Looks like he might have made a mistake, or Todd Cayley's turned it up just a little bit, because now it's DJ Alessandrini all up underneath the back of Pham. But we're going to cut back to the battle between Boyson and Campbell. It's Civic versus RSX. And that RSX, again, an ex-Speedway Challenge car, now out here club racing in Gridlife Touring Cup. Super cool to see. And Garrett Campbell,
very cool.
Yeah, representing Motegi Wheels, one of the presenting partners of Gridlife Touring Cup, along with Valvoline and FCP Euro. Got representation and really good presence from Valvoline here, trackside, Motegi Wheels as well. And really excited to see FCP Euro bring out actual race cars later this year at some other events. But this battle for second is hot, and James Houghton's going to be smiling in his helmet seeing this because he wants those guys racing. If they're racing, they're not going to be fast enough to catch him.
His gap has diminished though. It's down to 2.917. Was it 3.5, I think, at its biggest. So they are working up towards him. His last lap of 2.33, 3.39, and they're getting there. 2.32 was Todd Cayley's last lap. So he's putting a little bit of distance back into the gap there. Todd Cayley and the team working there towards him. Maybe they can use some drafting advantage to catch Houghton a little bit on this back straight.
Yeah, if they're willing to work together. Now we're looking at a 20-minute race here, and I'm showing a 15-minute elapsed time so far. So we're coming down on the last couple of laps, 2 laps, maybe 3 maximum.
I think this is our longest Gridlife Touring Cup race to date.
We have a change. Dyson Pham to the second position, and DJ Alessandrini, Todd Cayley side by side, just a little bit as they're starting to deal with the lap traffic of Mike Jang. He's going to really kind of obstruct traffic in that BMW. That's unfortunate for Alessandrini and Cayley, but Alessandrini's going to try to capitalize on it. Silver S2000 versus silver MX-5 right there, center of your frame. Alessandrini following Cayley, but that leaves Dyson Pham clear air to chase down Houghton. And as we're in these final 5 minutes, Houghton's car is going to be at its worst, even if he's done a good job managing it. The degradation of the tire and the front-wheel drive nature of that car just means he needs to do what he did at the start, build a lead, and hope it lasts. Dyson Pham is going to put his head down, tuck in, and getting smaller.
It is getting smaller. It's 1.493 now for the gap between P1 and P2. Dyson Pham really putting the charge on.
Gained 2 seconds that lap.
Smoke out of Houghton's car also.
I think it's tire lock.
Might have been tire lock up there. So that gap is a third of the size it was 2 laps ago.
Houghton's looking like a sitting duck unless he knows he can race Dyson Pham by conserving his car big time right now. Dyson's got the upper hand on pace. Now, the trick now with the wheel-to-wheel racing nature of this race, obviously, and with the build nature of the cars, a car in a straight line is really hard to, fast in a straight line is really hard to pass.
It is. That was Houghton's goal coming into this weekend, was to be the fastest car in a straight line. I think he accomplished that. And we'll see how the rest of the weekend pans out with the other cars racing around him. Makes it hard to pass.
So we've got a battle for first brewing and a battle for third that's raging on. A little bit of sideways action from, that is, who's in second right now? That is DJ Alessandrini was sideways coming off the S, is chasing down Todd Cayley. Those cars in the back. Alessandrini looking for clean air, maybe trying to make Cayley make a mistake. No, they're side by side. Cayley leaves him room, and that's really gentlemanly racing. Good stuff from these two racing for third place. Dyson Pham spun off the track.
Off track into the grass there.
Oh,
and
man.
He recovers, but he is now P4.
Looking at the tire tracks, looks like he got a tank slapper and just ended up in the grass on the right side. So that's going to make this battle for Alessandrini and Cayley. That is for second now. That's a podium.
If Houghton's car can stay on the track, this particular race is probably his, but this battle for second, they are neck and neck. And they're both brand new racers to this track. So
Alessandrini's got it. He's up into P2. Cayley has now got to focus on getting back by that S2000 in the back with the black hood. That's the best way to tell the two silver cars apart. But Alessandrini up to the second position with that spin from Dyson Pham.
Alessandrini's car is Derek Yarbrough's. It is now the second fastest car of the race, 2.31793 at his best.
Yeah, and that's going to improve his start position for tomorrow as tomorrow's race starts on best lap from today. That's an improvement on raw pace for that car, so that'll be good for DJ Alessandrini tomorrow as well as today. But that was really a gift for Houghton as he was starting to look like he was on the falling edge of this race.
He might have been in his mirrors a bit, staring at that car approaching him.
Yeah, so now that Dyson Pham has spun off, a little more buffer for James Houghton in the Acura TSX at the front.
They are making some gap up towards him, but
keep in mind, no white flag yet, so we still have at least 2 laps to go. Lapse time of 19 minutes. That probably includes our out lap, so a 20-minute race. Maybe we're going to look at now closing in on 5 minutes to go.
We actually had 25 minutes allotted for this session.
That makes sense.
This is our longest Gridlife Touring Cup race, I think, ever.
And a lot of these drivers are going to love that because we don't have a lot of drivers who are familiar with the track or their car or both.
I requested a shorter practice and a longer first race, mainly for acclimation to the track. So we'll see how it works out tomorrow. But right now, all James Houghton has to do is keep that car on track, and this might be his. the car, brand new build. This is probably its 15th, 20th lap ever on any racetrack. So far, so good as far as maintaining its front pace and its reliability. So just from the quick minutes.
Keeping an eye on the monitors off to my right. That's why you see me looking off screen, but we're back to action. This is the battle that's been raging between Boyson and Campbell. RSX versus Civic as they're now lapping Mike Jang. And then this battle hasn't stopped. It's still Nick Steniford and the Hot Odyssey minivan from Carl Hurdle. Flames out of the back of the S2000 on lift off, trying to not go for the attack this time on the minivan.
A true street car too.
Yeah, he drives it to the events.
Most events. He drove it all the way to Atlanta from Colorado last year with us, and I think he also did that with GTA. So a lot of street miles on this car. Full cage, really nice cage, all far away from his driver seat. Streetable, and it's a very, very cool car. I just love seeing him drive the track.
Back to the battle at the front. Those are your top three runners. James Houghton in the TSX at the front. DJ Alessandrini holding down second in the MX-5. Todd Cayley in third in the Honda S2000. They started this race with Cayley at the front and Alessandrini all the way back in fourth, but it was Houghton at the start.
Gap up though too.
Yeah.
His last lap at 2:33.584, so he's consistent. This might be all he has though.
Boyson deep on the brakes in the RSX, takes the position from Campbell, but I have to imagine Campbell's going to come back at him down the back straight as they enter onto the back straight. Oh, that's DJ Alessandrini's off the track. He loses the second place that he had worked so hard for. Runs wide in the carousel. Now he was saying that that's actually flat in that car, so I have to wonder if it was hairy after a while, or if he had something go wrong. But that gives another gift to James Houghton. He's got to be cursing you at some point that this race is so long, but they just keep letting him have it. You know, I think the raw pace of that TSX is dwindling, but now it's all Todd Cayley. He's the only one left to really take the battle to him, and I don't know that he's got enough time. We've got to be under 5 minutes. Not a lot of drivers getting any faster, but it is still Dyson Pham had the fastest lap of the race. Best battle now back to Boyson and Campbell exiting turn 15 through the stadium section into the carousel, and it was indeed Campbell that got the advantage exiting that over-under from the attack that Boyson made onto the back straight. Beautiful shot from the tower here at Circuit of the Americas. So cool to be racing a Formula One track.
It's just Gridlife Touring Cup. I can't believe it. This is so strange.
It's kind of a cool car here. That is
a rally car, actually.
It's a rally Acura RSX. You see the mud flaps. It's on street tires. Definitely not a full Gridlife Touring Cup build, but
power levels are actually pretty close, but not a super sorted out grid car.
Yeah, Brian DeFries driving that car. He is on the back straight right now. The back to Campbell and Boyson. Did he drive it here?
I think so.
That'd be awesome. Boyson just not quite sure what to do with Campbell. That little Civic fast in a straight line.
That K24 powered Civic, taking the car away. Garrett did race here last weekend running a V-Spec car, and it was the SCCA Majors race.
Yeah.
SCCA, the sanctioning body of Super Lap Battle.
Good look at another time at Carl Hurdle in the HMA minivan. That's a fully race-prepped minivan. He's on racing slick tires, fully gutted, fully caged. Now, the car I don't see is Nick Steniford, so he's either cleared the minivan and driven away, or he's back a little further. But this is DJ Alessandrini now back up at the front. This is the battle for second, coming back at Todd Cayley. So Alessandrini fast in the MX-5.
Oh, there's Nick Steniford.
There's our answer. Yeah,
he's off track.
Car's moving, so that's good to see. He's actually reversing down towards the pit out point on the front straight. Good stopping point. Heads up driving from Steniford. So
close battle there with Campbell and Boyson. Boyson was breaking the zone. He looks at the inside and he does not take it. But what a battle. Alessandrini back on the bumper of Todd Cayley for P2. Looks to the inside, outside, doesn't look.
Really tricky to get.
Still has it.
Yeah,
still takes it.
Houghton there on the front straight, and we are coming to the checkered flag. We missed the white flag with all the action. This is the last lap. DJ Alessandrini side by side. Can he get the run? The motor of the S2000 is going to take him to the finish, and it's second place for Todd Cayley after a mistake from DJ Alessandrini. Lost second place, not quite enough to get back to third. To second, he's going to come home third, I should say.
That is a wild day for Alessandrini.
Yeah. Right, the rest of the field coming through, but James Houghton taking the win That was the checkered flag. After 20 minutes of racing here at Circuit of the Americas, we're showing Dyson Pham with the fast lap of the race, brings that car home 4th after that spin. Eric Meadows with a fairly uneventful but solid 5th place finish in his MX-5.
Brand new car also, first day on track with that car.
And then that battle that we've been keeping close eyes on, Gareth Campbell in the Motegi Civic and Jeremy Boyson in the RSX. We are scoring them in that order, 6th and then 7th across the line. Nick Steniford, unfortunately with that DNF, last crossed the line in 8th, but I think Carl Hurdle's going to bring that home. There is Meadows finishing.
I want to say thank you again to Super Lap Battle for letting our little series come play alongside at this beautiful track. Nothing but warm invites, and it's been a fun day getting to know some new competitors and checking out the programs of a lot of our Gridlife Time Attack drivers who are also Super Lap Battle drivers. Great to see friends, and it's nice that it's not snowing.
It is.
It's usually what it's.
What are you from, Chicago?
It's cold there right now. We're seeing Steniford backing up. Hopefully he's good mechanically. We'll find out soon what happened to this car.
So race 1 for Gridlife Touring Cup in the books. What I'm excited to watch now, it's race 1 of 4. We have 3 races tomorrow. That was just a touch of what we're going to see. Now, what did we learn from race 1, and what kind of things are we going to see as this continues to develop?
I'm surprised how fast Houghton could get that car across this entire long race. We might have given him too much street tire. Those things might have held up better than we thought.
I think it was almost the opposite. I'm not saying that I wasn't impressed with his pace, but if you look at his lap times, he finishes in the 2:34s, which is almost 5 seconds off his qualifying pace.
I think if Kaling and Alessandrini and Pham, if they all ran a perfect race, it could have been any of them.
I think we saw a lot of mistakes from the heavy hitters, and I think we either saw Houghton manage a perfect race knowing that he was never under attack and could manage his car, or we just saw the flaw of his approach of the high horsepower street tires fast in a straight line.
All 3 of those drivers, it could have been theirs on raw pace. But what a great battle for P2 that we got to watch. We got to watch about 3 different versions of it.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool day. I'm very proud of our drivers, and thank you to everybody checking out the race. And we're back up with Super Lap Battle shortly.
Yeah, we're coming back at you tomorrow with race number 2 at 8 a.m. right here on the Super Lap Battle live stream. We want to thank Valvoline, we want to thank Motegi Wheels, and we want to thank FCP Euro as presenting partners, the official oil and the official wheel of Gridlife Touring Cup. That was just race 1 of 4 that we're going to see this weekend. Lots of fun storylines to keep an eye on. Lots of learning in that long 20-minute race.
Yeah.
The rest of the race is 15 minutes long tomorrow.
Yep.
You're going to want to tune in and watch. Thanks a lot for joining it.
A little bit more normal for GLTC.
Exactly.
And hopefully a few more cars, too, as some cars get repaired in the pits. But yeah, that was a great race. Fun to watch that P2 battle over and over and over. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. This is Tom O'Gorman and Adam Jabay signing off from Gridlife Touring Cup. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. for race 2.